Hi, welcome to Miss Emily's Kitchen. I'm Miss Emily. We're so excited to be back for season 2. My husband Andrew's back behind the camera. I don't know if you guys have seen, but our website is now live. So all of the recipes and videos from season 1 and now season 2 are going to be posted on the site. Make sure to check out the link down in the description. Super easy to follow recipes and easy to print. So it should be great. Make sure to check it out. So we are actually really excited to announce that we will be having a new member of the family come in the next couple months, which kind of leads into today. So I'm pregnant. I've been craving sushi. One of the things I'm really not supposed to have. So today is a pregnancy-friendly sushi recipe. It's shrimp tempura rolls. Completely cooked, completely safe. Well, let's get into cooking. So we're gonna start out by making our rice. So I've taken 1.5 cups of sushi rice. If you can't find sushi rice at your grocery store, no problem. You can always try your local Asian market. Otherwise, if you really need to, in a pinch, long grain white rice will work. Sushi rice is just a little better because it's smaller grains, so it's stickier. So I've taken 1.5 cups of sushi rice with 2 cups of water, and I made it in my rice cooker. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to just follow the package instructions to make the rice. But I've let mine start to cool just a little bit. And then we're gonna take, I've got 4 teaspoons of white sugar, and then I'm gonna add about 1/4 cup of rice vinegar. This is kind of what gives sushi rice its flavor. Otherwise it just kind of tastes like boring white rice, and we don't really want that. So we'll take that, we'll mix it in. Sometimes it helps if you heat up your vinegar first to dissolve your sugar, but my rice is still kind of hot, so I'm not really worried about that. We'll take that and we'll mix it into our rice. And we'll just stir it in. So it's important to let this cool with your rice so that flavor really becomes a part of it. And you want to make sure you have cool rice when you're working with it later on, otherwise it's gonna be way too hot and you're not gonna want to touch it and work with it. So we'll just get that all nice and mixed in. And I know it seems like a lot of rice for we're making just a couple rolls, but really you do go through it pretty fast. So if you end up making extra rice, no worries. All right, now that's all mixed in. We're gonna put that off to the side. All right, now let's talk about our shrimp. So tempura shrimp rolls usually call for tempura shrimp, obviously. So for that, you can use a box mix batter for tempura or make it from scratch. I've decided to go kind of an easier way and just use frozen, like jumbo butterflied shrimp that are already fried. You can find them in your freezer section. It makes this super easy because honestly, battering and frying your own shrimp is kind of its own process and can be a pain in the butt. So I have my shrimp here. I've laid them out on my little air fryer rack, and I'm gonna put them in my air fryer at 400 degrees for about 4 minutes. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to bake them in the oven according to the box instructions. So I'm gonna throw these in my air fryer and we'll be right back. All right, now that our shrimp is done cooking and it's cooled off a little bit, I have everything laid out to assemble. So I have my bamboo sushi mat. This is one of the most important parts that you're gonna need. You can get it online. I got mine on Amazon. Otherwise, any Asian grocery store should carry them. But it's nice and flexible, and that's what helps you roll your sushi. I have a cutting board underneath, and then we're gonna take a sheet of our seaweed paper. You can see it's kind of got perforations to it, so you're gonna wanna make sure to lay those vertical going along the lines of your board. So you lay that out, and we'll take some of our sushi rice and just lay that right in the center. You're gonna need a little more rice than you think because it does take quite a bit to cover this space. And then I've got a little bowl of water off to the side to dip my hands in because the rice is very sticky. But then you're just gonna wanna start trying to cover this entire thing with rice with a nice thin layer because you don't want it to be too bulky. And just take your time. This is definitely a practice scenario because it takes a lot of effort to get it to be absolutely perfect. But you just want to make sure it's nice and covered. You don't want any bites in there without rice because that is one of the best parts. And you're also going to want to leave about a good inch free at the very edge because that's what's going to help really seal your roll nice and tight. The rice is definitely very, very sticky, especially with that sugar added in. That's why that water is super helpful. If you need to go back and dip, clean your fingers, definitely go for it. All right, now we've got a nice even layer of rice. So we're gonna start by putting our shrimp in. I've taken the tails off of these so that they will roll easier, and I don't like to eat the tail. So I wanna lay them in, leave about an inch space on this side because that's where we're gonna start rolling from. So for this one, about 4 of these shrimp should cover in a nice line. I just have some sliced avocado, but you can also fill this with imitation crab meat, is safe to eat too. Some people like to put cucumbers in here. That's not my favorite, but it's totally up to you. So everything's in a nice line, it's nice and tight. I give my fingers one last rinse. And then we're gonna start rolling really carefully. You wanna kind of hold your fillings in and do that first roll over. And once that's over, kind of peel back away from it. Make sure you're not rolling your mat up with it, but also kind of squeeze at the same time. And just go nice and slow. And apply even pressure. And as you get to the edge, you can see you're just gonna take a couple pieces of rice, stick them on there so that'll help secure it closed. And then roll it over one last time. And squeeze down nice and tight. Really gives you appreciation for your sushi chefs at restaurants because they make this look super easy and they do it in like 10 seconds. So now that this one's all done, you can see it's free of the mat. We're gonna let this rest for about 10 minutes before we cut into it. Okay, now that our roll has been resting for about 10 minutes, we're gonna slice into it. So you can feel free to follow those perforations on the seaweed, but it is kind of hard to see now that it's done. So I'm just kind of gonna freehand it and see what happens. To me, it doesn't matter how many pieces I get out of this. So really, I'm just gonna start in the middle so I can show you what it looks like. I wanna use a really sharp knife and be really gentle when you're cutting. So if you wanna just go straight down and through, not too many sawing motions, and then we can see the inside. Looks pretty, doesn't it? So I'm gonna keep cutting and get a couple coins. You're gonna want them about 1 inch width. So I can show you guys what one piece will look like now that it's done. So here is our perfect little piece of sushi.
Thanks for watching this episode of Miss Emily's Kitchen. Today we made shrimp tempura rolls. As always, the recipe will be posted down in the description and eventually added to our website. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.